Have you ever looked at someone successful and thought, they're just naturally talented? Maybe you've admired a brilliant student, a world-class athlete, or a successful entrepreneur and believed they were born with something special that you simply don't have. It's an idea many of us grow up believing, that intelligence, talent, and ability are fixed gifts. But what if that's one of the biggest lies we've ever accepted? What if success depends far less on talent than on the way we think about learning, failure, and growth? Today's story is about a book that has transformed classrooms, businesses, sports teams, and millions of lives by changing one simple belief, the belief about what we are capable of becoming. Hey everyone, welcome back to Inspired Pages. This is a place where we explore books that help us understand ourselves, improve the way we think, and build lives filled with purpose and growth. In our previous videos, we've explored books about habits, motivation, resilience, wealth, and meaning. Today, we're opening one of the most important psychology books ever written. Today's story is about Mindset, The New Psychology of Success by Carol S. Dweck. Carol Dweck spent decades studying why some people thrive when they face challenges while others give up. She observed children in classrooms, athletes on the field, leaders in organizations, and people from every walk of life. Again and again, she noticed something fascinating. Success wasn't determined only by intelligence. It wasn't determined only by talent. It wasn't determined only by opportunity. Instead, one hidden belief separated those who continued growing from those who remained stuck. That belief was what she called mindset. Dweck explains that there are two fundamental ways people think about their abilities. The first is called the fixed mindset. People with a fixed mindset believe their intelligence, talent, and abilities are permanent. You're either smart or you're not. You're either gifted or you're average. Success becomes a way of proving your worth, while failure becomes evidence that you're simply not good enough. Because of this belief, people with a fixed mindset often avoid difficult challenges. They choose tasks they already know they can do. They fear making mistakes because mistakes feel like personal failures. Criticism becomes painful. Failure becomes something to hide. Imagine a student who has always been praised for being smart. One day, they struggle with a difficult math problem. Instead of seeing it as an opportunity to learn, they begin thinking, maybe I'm not actually smart. Rather than risking failure again, they stop trying. Not because they can't improve, but because they're afraid of discovering their limits. Now compare that to another student. This student struggles with the same problem. Instead of saying, I'm not good at math, they say, I haven't learned this yet. One small word changes everything. Yet. That single word opens the door to growth. This is what Dweck calls the growth mindset. People with a growth mindset believe abilities can be developed through effort, learning, practice, and persistence. They don't think talent is meaningless. Of course, natural ability exists. But they believe talent is only the starting point. What truly matters is what you do with it. Think about learning to ride a bicycle. Nobody is born knowing how. Everyone falls. Everyone loses balance. Everyone feels frustrated. But those falls don't mean you're incapable. They are part of learning. Life works the same way. Every expert was once a beginner. Every skilled musician once played the wrong notes. Every successful author once wrote terrible first drafts. Every athlete once struggled with basic movements. Growth is never instant. It is built one small improvement at a time. Dweck shares an interesting story from one of her studies. She gave children a series of puzzles. At first, everyone received puzzles they could solve easily. Afterward, she praised different groups in different ways. One group was praised for being intelligent. The other group was praised for their effort. Then she offered them a choice. Would they like another easy puzzle? Or would they like a harder one where they might learn something new? The results were remarkable. The children praised for being smart usually chose the easier puzzles. They wanted to protect the image of being intelligent. The children praised for working hard chose the difficult puzzles. They wanted to grow. The difference wasn't intelligence. It was mindset. One group believed success meant looking smart. The other believed success meant becoming smarter. That distinction follows us throughout life. Some people avoid challenges because they're afraid of failure. Others welcome challenges because they see them as opportunities. The challenge is exactly the same. Only the mindset is different. And that difference shapes careers, relationships, businesses, and entire lives. As Carol Dweck continued her research, she realized that mindset doesn't only affect students in a classroom. It quietly influences almost every area of our lives. Whether we're building a career, raising a family, leading a business, or pursuing a dream, the beliefs we hold about ourselves shape the choices we make every single day. One of the most fascinating examples comes from the world of sports. When people watch legendary athletes, they often assume they were simply born with extraordinary talent. We admire their achievements and think they're naturally gifted. But Dweck discovered that the greatest champions rarely think that way. They don't define themselves by talent alone. Instead, they become obsessed with improvement. Every practice is an opportunity to become a little better than yesterday. Every mistake becomes valuable feedback. Every defeat becomes a lesson instead of a verdict. The athletes who stay at the top for years aren't necessarily the most talented. They're often the ones who never stop learning. The same pattern appears in business. Some leaders believe they must always appear confident, always have the right answers, and never admit mistakes. They fear criticism because they believe it exposes weakness. As a result, they stop learning. They surround themselves with people who agree with them. They avoid difficult conversations. And eventually, their growth comes to a halt. Other leaders take a very different approach. They ask questions. They listen carefully. They admit when they don't know something. They welcome feedback, even when it's uncomfortable. Not because they enjoy criticism, but because they understand that feedback is one of the fastest paths to improvement. A growth mindset doesn't make failure enjoyable. It simply makes failure useful. This lesson becomes even more important when we think about parenting. Many parents genuinely want to build their children's confidence. So they constantly say things like, "You're so smart. You're naturally talented. You're the best." At first, these compliments seem encouraging. But Dweck found that they can create an unexpected problem. When children believe they're valued because they're naturally smart, they begin protecting that image. They avoid difficult tasks. They become afraid of making mistakes. They worry that struggling means they're no longer intelligent. Now imagine a different conversation. A child spends hours working on a difficult project. Instead of saying, "You're so smart," a parent says, "I'm proud of how hard you worked. I love the way you kept trying. You didn't give up when it became difficult." Suddenly, the child begins connecting success with effort instead of talent. And effort is something everyone can control. That small difference changes the way children approach challenges for the rest of their lives. Dweck isn't saying we should never compliment people. She's simply encouraging us to praise the process instead of the identity. Instead of praising intelligence, praise curiosity. Instead of praising talent, praise persistence. Instead of praising perfection, praise progress. Those kinds of compliments build resilience instead of fear. The same idea applies to education. Many students believe that struggling means they aren't good enough. When they don't understand something immediately, they become discouraged. They compare themselves to classmates who seem to learn faster. Slowly, they begin telling themselves, "I'm just not a math person. I'm not creative. I'm bad at languages." But Dweck reminds us that these labels become self-fulfilling. The moment we believe growth is impossible, we stop trying. A growth mindset replaces those labels with a different question. Not, "Can I do this?" but, "How can I learn this?" That question changes the entire learning experience. Instead of fearing difficult subjects, we become curious about them. Instead of avoiding mistakes, we begin studying them. Instead of competing with others, we compete with the person we were yesterday. Mindset also shapes our relationships. Think about disagreements between two people. Someone with a fixed mindset may believe, "If we're arguing, maybe we're not compatible." Or, "If someone criticizes me, they don't love me." But someone with a growth mindset sees conflict differently. They understand that healthy relationships require communication. They know people can grow together. They believe understanding is built through honest conversations, not perfect ones. The same principle applies to friendships, to marriage, to teamwork. Growth-minded people don't expect perfection from themselves or from others. They expect progress. Another important lesson in the book is the difference between proving yourself and improving yourself. Many of us spend years trying to prove we're capable. We want recognition. We want approval. We want others to believe we're successful. But Dweck asks a powerful question. What if all that energy were spent becoming better instead? Imagine two young professionals starting the same job. The first wants everyone to think they're brilliant. They avoid asking questions because they don't want to appear inexperienced. The second asks questions constantly. They seek advice. They welcome correction. At first, the first employee may look more confident. But over time, the second employee usually grows much faster. Because learning always beats pretending. Dweck reminds us that confidence doesn't come from already knowing everything. Real confidence comes from believing you can learn anything you're willing to work for. Perhaps the most freeing idea in the entire book is this: you don't have to be perfect to improve. You don't have to know everything to begin. And you don't have to fear failure if you're willing to learn from it. Growth is not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more of what you're capable of being. Every challenge, every setback, every difficult conversation, every mistake can become another step forward, if you choose to see it that way. As Carol Dweck brings all of these ideas together, one powerful message becomes clear. Our lives are not shaped only by the abilities we are born with. They are shaped by the beliefs we hold about those abilities. The way we think influences the choices we make. Those choices become our habits. Our habits shape our actions. And over time, those actions become the life we live. That's why mindset matters so much. It quietly influences every decision, often without us even realizing it. Think about someone who dreams of starting a business. A fixed mindset whispers, "What if you fail? What if people think you're not good enough? What if you lose everything?" So they never begin. Years pass, and the dream remains only an idea. Now imagine someone with a growth mindset. They still feel fear. They still have doubts. But instead of asking, "What if I fail?" they ask, "What can I learn if I try?" They understand that even failure can become experience. Even mistakes can become education. Even setbacks can become stepping stones. That single shift in thinking completely changes the direction of their life. Dweck reminds us that failure is never permanent unless we decide to stop learning. One exam cannot define your intelligence. One rejection cannot define your future. One mistake cannot define your character. Every successful person you admire has experienced failure. The difference is that they refuse to let failure become their identity. Instead, they treated it as information, as feedback, as another opportunity to improve. One of the most practical lessons from the book is learning to notice the voice inside your own mind. Whenever you face a challenge, listen carefully to what you tell yourself. Do you say, "I'm just not good at this. I'll never be able to do it. I'm not talented enough"? Those are the words of a fixed mindset. Now try changing the sentence. "I'm not good at this, yet. I haven't learned this, yet. I need more practice." That one small word, "yet," is incredibly powerful. It transforms limitation into possibility. It reminds us that ability is not fixed. It is still developing. Carol Dweck also encourages us to become lifelong learners. Many people stop learning once they leave school. They believe education ends with a diploma. But the most successful people rarely stop learning. They read books. They ask questions. They seek mentors. They remain curious. Because curiosity keeps the mind alive. Every new skill you learn expands what you believe is possible. Another important lesson is to stop comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. We live in a world where we constantly see other people's achievements. We see the promotion, the successful business, the perfect performance, the finished product. But we rarely see the years of practice behind it. We don't see the failures, the disappointments, the late nights, the moments when they question themselves. Comparison often steals motivation because it hides the full story. Instead of comparing yourself to others, compare yourself to the person you were yesterday. Have you learned something new? Have you become a little more patient? A little more disciplined? A little more courageous? If the answer is yes, then you're already growing. And growth is the real measure of success. Dweck also reminds us that the people we surround ourselves with influence our mindset. Spend enough time around people who constantly complain, avoid challenges, and fear failure, and those attitudes slowly become your own. But spend time with people who are curious, humble, hardworking, and eager to learn, and you'll begin thinking differently. Growth is contagious. So is limitation. Choose your environment wisely. The book also challenges us to rethink success itself. Many people believe success means never failing, never struggling, never making mistakes. But Dweck offers a different definition. Success is becoming better than you were yesterday. Success is continuing when things become difficult. Success is refusing to let fear decide your future. Because real confidence doesn't come from always winning. It comes from knowing that no matter what happens, you'll continue learning. Perhaps that's why people with a growth mindset often seem more peaceful. They don't need to prove they're the smartest person in the room. They don't need to pretend they know everything. They're comfortable saying, "I don't know. Can you teach me? I made a mistake." Those simple words don't make them weaker. They make them stronger. Because humility creates learning. And learning creates growth. By the end of the book, Carol Dweck leaves us with a hopeful message. No one is born with a perfect mindset. We all have moments of fear. We all avoid challenges sometimes. We all worry about failure. The goal isn't to become perfect overnight. The goal is simply to become aware. To notice when a fixed mindset appears. And to gently replace it with a growth mindset. Little by little. Challenge by challenge. Day by day. Because every time you choose learning over proving. Every time you choose effort over excuses. Every time you choose courage over comfort. You begin building a life that is no longer limited by fear. That's the true power of mindset. It doesn't promise instant success. It doesn't promise an easy life. Instead, it offers something far more valuable. The belief that who you are today is not who you have to remain tomorrow. Your intelligence can grow. Your skills can improve. Your confidence can be built. Your future is not written by your talent alone. It is written by your willingness to keep learning. So that's the story of Mindset, The New Psychology of Success by Carol S. Dweck, a book that reminds us that the greatest limitation is often not our ability, but our belief about our ability. If you enjoyed this story and found it valuable, make sure to subscribe to Inspired Pages. Every week, we explore best-selling books that challenge the way we think and help us become wiser, stronger, and more intentional. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one area of your life where you're choosing a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset? Your answer might inspire someone else to keep going. And if you know someone who's doubting themselves, someone who's afraid to start, or someone who believes they're simply not good enough, share this video with them. Sometimes, the most powerful thing a person can hear is that they haven't reached their potential yet. This is Inspired Pages. Keep learning. Keep growing. And remember, The person you become tomorrow is shaped by what you're willing to learn today.